especially our guest who has joined us on this seminar. So my name is Dozier. I'm the lead practice for modern workplace in Signal Alliance. So first of all, I want to thank you again for investing your time to join us on this section. Permit me to just take a few seconds to introduce Signal Alliance Limited for those of us who have not come so much in contact with Signal Alliance. All right, so for us as a company, shortly called SA, we are IT integration company that focuses majorly leveraging the investment our customers made in their business to bring about business applications that solve business problems. So we've been around for about 25 years, and that means a lot to us. 25 years of delivering value, 25 years of supporting businesses in whatever angle they are doing their work. So we leverage a whole lot of partnership with the big OEMs, the giants in the industry that we know, the likes of Microsoft and the likes of Cisco, to be able to bring this value to our esteemed customers. So today on the call, our focus today is on an application we call CreditDoc. Right, so CreditDoc is an application that leverages the investments our customers has made on the Microsoft 365 to bring about solving business problems that relates to credit and loan application. So it's an application that handles the document handling end to end from the time a registration is made into the system to the time you can query that database and call up any data that relates to that particular instance of registration. So is an application that also has a lot of moving parts, integration basis that talks to any system outside the M365 environment. So basically, it has an open API that it can connect to any system, and also integrated to a core banking application that can route your documents or your workflows to the core banking applications when it is finally approved. So CreditDoc has been around for some time. Let me just say it that way. Because the vision we have is to be able to leverage what our customers has and solve these problems that has to do with credit facilities. We have CreditDoc already being used by a tier 1 financial services industry in Nigeria. And over the years, they have found value in it. So at the moment, we are revamping it to meet the needs of the technology, the newest technologies that are being empowered by cloud. So today we're going to take two sections. One will be on the presentation that our engineer is going to take up, and also is going to take us on a click-through demo that shows us part of these models that brings about business value within the context of this application. So I will introduce him to come and take up the presentation. He will also handle the aspect of the demo section. So we expect that this section will be interactive. We expect to hear from you, our esteemed customers. We expect to get a feedback from you in terms of the models that we have currently running on the system, and also in terms of the models you would also like to have. And we are also open to take this presentation to your environment where we can do a full-blown live demo of end-to-end application of CreditDoc within your space alone. All right, so not only that, again, we have prepared a solution brief that showcases all the models, even show step-by-step of how all the models is being recorded. The journey of all these applications has been screenshot and put into a documentation. We'll be glad also to give you that documentations. So while you are going through it, we'll also follow up and find out if there are other things that strike a chord in your heart that you think if you can incorporate this, it will bring more value to your organization, and we'll be happy to do that. So with this short introduction, I will invite my engineer, Uchenna Abara. He's the one that will take us on a presentation. Also, he will take us on a click-through demo of CreditDoc application. Thank you so much. Uchenna, are you there ready?
Yes, good morning.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Over to you, Chena.
I'll be sharing my screen. Good morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me, and can you also see my screen? Please confirm.
Yes, we can hear you, Chena, and we can see your screen very clearly. So you can go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'll be taking us through this our solution called CreditDoc. My name is Uchenna, and I'm a developer for Signal Alliance. And we'll be looking through, these are some of the things we'll be looking through as it has to do with CreditDoc. So CreditDoc, just like Dozier mentioned, is an electronic document management system that deals in particularly credit documents, because there are a lot of things that happens around managing customers' credit documents. And we've seen that there are a lot of issues around that. So that's why we came up with this product, which a bank already uses in Nigeria here to solve some of their business problems as it has to do with credit document management. Okay, so CreditDoc is an application that's built with a lot of Microsoft's products to tackle automations and business processes that concerns managing your credit documents. Okay, so most times documents are worn out out of handling, excess handling. They can be lost, they can get into the wrong hands, or even deferral documents are not tracked, reminders are not sent. So this CreditDoc is meant to solve all of those problems and more. Okay, so it simplifies the way documents are digitized and managed. So it helps the users, the relationship managers, the credits, the CRM officers to access such customer documents from anywhere in the world, from any device. Okay, so and the physical documents already existing, the backlogs can also be digitized with OCR, what we call OCR, optical character recognition, which means so even if you don't remember the title of your document and it has passed through this application, you can actually search through words within your documents as long as you have permission to that document. So we're going to be looking into more of those features and capabilities of CreditDoc. Okay, so this is just a brief. Okay, digitizes, organizes, automates, streamlines your business processes, and transforms your data into insights. So we also have the reporting layer of CreditDoc. So at the end of the day, the essence is that once these documents are digitized and have passed through these stages, you should be able to have like a dashboard for the management, so that they can track documents, have visibility into what is happening in the organization as it has to do with managing documents. Okay, so these are some of the business problems it intends to solve and more. Okay, so there is search. Most times, the turnaround time in getting some of these documents, especially where it has to do with banks that have different branches. Okay, so the turnaround time here is drastically reduced because you can actually do an online search as long as you have permission to these documents, and you'll be able to get what you want. So the incomplete files as raised as audit exceptions by some of the institutions that looks after some of these banks like NDIC. Okay, so most times they need to do like auditing for these credit documents, and if they don't meet some of their policies and standards, there are usually penalties for such organization, which CreditDoc also tackles. So it helps to review documents. Okay, so most of those documents go for approval before they actually get to the customer folder. So what happens here is that we have a credit customer, the customer is registered in the system. So the system recognizes that customer, gives it an automatic ID and all that. So whenever a process, whenever the relationship managers wants to run a process on that customer, so they simply put in the customer's ID and all other information is fetched. So such, let's say they want to upload a new document for the customer, okay? So they simply pass through the process, search for that customer, he's already registered, and all the information for that customer will pop up. So such documents can be attached for review. So it goes through approval process from one office to the other, credit risk, some go for legal, votes, supervisors, and all that. So at the end of the day, the system automatically, if it's a new customer, the system automatically creates the customer's folder in the system and dumps that document at the right location. Okay, so and talking of documents, we have different kinds of documents. So we have different kind of document types as it has to do with credit documents, credit document management. So there are a lot of document types. Okay, so such like offer letters, collateral documents, personal information from the customer, it can be an enterprise customer or personal loan and all that. So such are taken care of, okay? And the system creates such folders and subfolders automatically and arrange those documents according to the structure given to us by the organization. Okay, so this may not be speaking to all organizations. So we have a paradigm already. Like I said, it's already being used somewhere. So it can be different in another organization. So we can also actually tweak the system to meet your demand. Your demand may not be exactly what we have here, but we can always tweak it to meet your specific need. Okay, so that would be when I'll be running through the processes. So I'll show us the interface and some of the internal processes that happens there. Okay, so some documents are degraded. So we hope to solve that by digitizing those documents and keeping them in an online secure vault. Okay, documents can be misplaced. People can have access to documents, customer documents or credit documents they're not supposed to have access to. So CreditDoc solves all that. We can track your documents, especially those that needs to go for approval. So we can always track, know the office is pending for approval, and also do a follow-up. Okay, deferral monitoring. So during this process, some documents can be deferred. Okay, let's say those documents are not really compulsory, but the organization needs to, speed up the credit facility process for the customer, or the head office needs to cite the original document, and let's say it's originating from a branch in Kano or somewhere very far that they can't get the physical document immediately. Maybe they can only get the scanned copy. So they can actually, it can even be a condition or a security that can actually defer it to a later date in the future and go on with the facility they want to give the customer. So the essence is that they don't end up delaying the customer. So they please the customer, and at the end of the day, they still track such documents so that, because the institution still needs to get the documents, so they track it so that they can always get it as at when due. Okay, so we have issues of temporary release documents. So some documents can be released temporary or permanently. So if it's permanent, we don't need to track, but if it's temporarily, means such documents still needs to come back to the vaults or come back to the repository. So we have a tracking system that also sends reminders as at when due for such documents. Okay, so these are the value propositions. We can integrate it to your other line of business applications like CRM, ERPs, Navision, and all that. So it can actually integrate and then pull customer information if there is a need. So we have 360-degree view of customers' credit documents here. So we can actually see the documents based on permission. The system sets up the customer's directory automatically. So the documents are routed for approvals automatically. Okay, even the emails are sent automatically. The users are managed in a database at the back end. So which the bank have the right, or the admin have the right to always go there and make changes, even without calling us, okay, without calling the developers. So they can always change who approves at any point in time. They assign roles automatically at the back end. So can attract expired documents, workflow automation, generate reports, and we'll have an enterprise dashboard that will give us insights into what's happening in the system. Okay, so I've mentioned some of the components you have here. So it has its ability to store, okay, capture and validate with OCR. It can index for searching. Okay, some of the internal processes apart from uploading documents are automated. And once those documents, you can have real-time collaboration with your team. Some of these documents need versioning. So it also have the capability to give you versioning. So which means even if your team collaborates on the documents and you need to revert to old versions, so you can always do that. So we have the security and compliance. Okay, people only see what they are authorized to see. And the integration to other line of business applications. Okay, we have the features here, which I've mentioned some earlier. Okay, so there are some internal processes that are automated, like deferral approval. So we want to defer a document or a condition. So it runs through approval with timestamp, and everything is recorded for audit purposes. We have deferral regularization. So when a document is deferred, it will still be regularized. Okay, so what that means is that such condition or documents have been met, such condition have been met. So it still goes through another approval for record purposes. So, and all these mails are sent automatically right inside your inbox. So from your inbox, you can click a link and it will take you to what you're supposed to do. So you can approve, reject, make comments, and do a whole lot of things there. Okay, customer e-directory is set up. We have the enterprise dashboard. So we have automated generation of schedule, reports, and distribution. So it could be daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, etc. Okay, so these reports can be generated and automatically sent to specific officers. Okay, for specific officers that need it for their work. And it can also track expiring documents or incomplete documents. Okay, so these are the benefits we derive from this system. You actually go in paperless, especially in this area of working from home. So it enables the organization to go paperless. And we all know the benefits of that, going paperless. Okay, so when you go paperless means you can access your document from anywhere. It can't easily get to the wrong hands. The documents cannot be easily degraded due to excess handling, passing it from one table to other, or whenever you need, the relationship managers need to call it up, always handle it. So they may not be handling the documents all the time, unless when the need be, which will happen maybe once in a while. So your users can collaborate on the documents online. So there's a very strong and a very robust search functionality that the system carries. It improves overall office efficiency and productivity. So the people in the CRM unit, especially the credit risk management unit, especially, okay, so their turnaround time is going to drastically reduce, and they will use that time to focus on more important things than handling repetitive and mundane processes or tasks, as it has to do with document management. So they will have more time to be efficient in other areas. We have an enhanced security, which I've mentioned. Yeah, people are not authorized to access what they're not supposed to access, or approve documents, or go into the customer e-directory to access documents that they are not authorized to access. And then we have the automated workflows that handle some of other internal credit management processes, like I mentioned, deferrals of conditions, security release. You need to do a security release. Okay, it goes through a process for record purposes and reminders. Okay, deferral regularization, general document upload, drawdown, a whole lot of other internal processes that we may not mention here. So it handles that. Oh, and like I said earlier, the system is a bespoke system, which means even if we don't capture it the way it works in your organization, okay, so if we come in and do a requirement gathering, we'll be able to tweak it to meet what you have. Okay, so here we'll come to the end of the slide. So we're going to take questions before we do the demo.
Hi, Jenna.
Hi, Dozie.
So, I think you should launch the click demo very quickly. The question is likely you have more questions when you are showing for what the click demo looks like.
Okay, yeah, so it's up now. So confirm you can say it. Can you confirm you can see the welcome to Credit Document Manager?
Yeah, Uchenna, we can see that.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll have this interface. So users or relationship managers log into the application. They'll see something similar to this. So we've divided this into 4 modules: the customer registration, document upload, then the other internal workflows, then the reporting aspects of the application. Okay, so let's start with customer registration. So what happens here is we'll have a new credit customer or already existing credit customer that has not been brought into the system. So we need to do a customer registration. So I come here, I click on customer registration. So it gives me these 3 options: register new customer, update customer details, and delete customer details. So I can register a new customer and it goes into our database. So such customers, I can update their details too, if need be, and I can actually delete the customer details. So like I said earlier, so this is based on a live application that is running somewhere. So they can actually they can have these three options for a customer. So I want to register a new customer. I click on it. It pops up my name automatically as the relationship manager who is handling this customer. Okay. So it gives me some information about me. So I can click on add. So I give it a customer ID, or the system generates a customer ID. But most times they already have a customer ID. Let's say a bank, the bank already has a customer ID. We just input it, or it can also actually fetch it from other line of business applications. So this is already an existing customer. We integrate it to your line of business applications like CRM. So it fetches this information for us, the company of the customer, the team email, and every other information we need from this customer. So I click on add new record. So it asks me, do you wish to start this process? I said yes. I click on save. Okay, and I submit. So it tells me that the process has started. So creating new customer, like as it is, I've not just created this customer. So it's going to go for an approval. So what happens here? Immediately the relationship manager does this, or whoever is in charge does this. So it sends an email, automated email to the right people. So if it's 3 people that needs to approve this, or 4 people, depending on the requirements of the organization, okay? So those people automatically gets an email to say they will approve. They open the email, they'll see what the relationship manager has filled. They can approve or reject. So if it's 3 people that needs to approve, once they finish approving, automatically these customer details gets created in our database for future use. Okay, so we'll come to general document upload. So we've created a customer. We need to upload the documents for that customer. So we can simply come here and input the customer ID. We can also do a quick search for the customer ID, assuming we don't have it, or we can do with customer ID or customer name. So once we get the customer ID, click on verify. So it gives us some information we need to fill about this customer. First of all, I clicked on a document upload. So it asks you the process type. So we have general document upload, we have drawdown and regular. So let's say it's a general document upload. I click on that. So it gives me more field to fill. You can see the document type. So there are a lot of document types. So we just put in only 2, 3 here. So it could be any document for this particular customer. Okay, so let's say it's offer letter for the loan application. We'll put it there. Okay, let me select personal information. So under personal information, it will ask me, is it birth certificate, is it CV, confirmation letter, and a whole lot of other ones. So let's say I'm uploading the birth certificate and is needed in this application. So, and some other fields I need to fill, okay? Then I upload or attach the documents that I need. So I can click on validate entry, invalidates. So you can see that I attach my birth certificate here as PDF. So I can go on and click on next. Okay, so it's telling me uploaded by me, automatically picks me. So I can put a comment, select my RM, and then click on save. To confirm the submission, I submit. So the same thing happens. The document goes for approval. So the people approving can actually download the attachment I uploaded, review it. They can return it back to me in case there are fields that they need more information or my comment wasn't explanatory enough. Just for any reason, they can actually do a return, okay, from their desk, anywhere they are, and the right people or the initiator will get notified with their comments, so they'll be able to know what the follow-up they need to do. Okay, let me go back. Let's go back to workflows. So under workflows, we have a number of other credit document related processes, internal processes. like vote release. A document needs to be, a physical document needs to be cited, okay, from the votes. And then the votes supervisors and the vote officers need to actually provide these physical documents for a particular reason. Let's say for a court case, and the customer, the credit customer needs to bring such original documents to the courts, which the bank needs to release from the vote. So they don't just release it, it goes through a process for tracking. So if there's a vote release, means there will be a regularization when those such document comes in again. So we have the deferral approvals, the conditions and the document deferrals, temporary release regularization, security release, and a whole lot of other documents. So let's run through some of them. We may not run through all. So let's say I want to do a vote release, for example. So I click on vote release. It picks my information automatically from the Active Directory. Okay, so it asks me the release type. So it could be temporary or permanent release. So temporary or permanent. So if it's temporary, means there's going to be a regularization. So you can see that it has popped up more fields for me: my relationship manager, account officers, group head. So it means these are the people that may actually get notified or actually approve this, depending on how the organization wants it to work. So I can go ahead and say start process. So it gets submitted. So the right approvers will get notified. They will go through my request and action it. So this is the deferral approval. So you add in some of the information. In the request, the total facility. So you can see some of the fields, okay, that is required. So what's the condition or document? Is it a condition or document that we are deferring? So we are deferring a condition, a document, sorry. I can put in my comments. Document type, tax clearance, and so these are some of the information. Okay, so number of days. So this number of days is telling us the number of days we are deferring this document. Okay, so what it means is that the system will automatically calculate these 30 days. So depending on how the organization wants their reminder, so you can actually send a reminder maybe a week to these 30 days, maybe a week and daily after then and all that. So with these reminders, so when this document comes in, we'll now do deferral regularization, and so that the reminders will stop sending. So the regularization will tell us that this deferral has been regularized. Therefore, the reminders will no longer come in. So I do my submit, I submit, and the process kicks off. So the same for all the other internal processes. So each process have their metadata, depending on what they are talking about, the type of metadata that is required for approvals. Okay. So let's go to the last but not the least model, which is the reports. Okay, so in the report, we have the process locator and the report manager. So the essence is that at the end of the day, some of this information may become cumbersome for the team. So this report will help us to locate some of these processes. So maybe you initiated a document deferral, even though you'll be getting notified via email, you can also do a process, can also come to the process locator and track your processes. Okay, you can actually come and track your processes. Know where they are, whose table is it waiting, and how long it has waited. So people can track that. Okay, when it was sent, how long it has waited, maybe for processes that have SLA, can track how long they've waited and all that. You can also see a dashboard to see maybe a particular process, how many are waiting HOD, for example, how many are waiting vote supervisor, for example. So from there, you can do like a follow-up. So I don't know if we have any question at this stage.
All right, Uchenna.
Yes.
Thank you so much. If you are done with the click-through demo, then I will invite Onyema to handle the Q&A section. Let's check if there are questions. Let's make it interactive and see how we can run minds together on the things you have shown us and the other things we think that this application should be able to carry in the future. So Onyema, are you on the call? Hi Onyema, are you on the call?
Yes, I'm on the call. Good morning. Okay, good morning, everyone. I believe we all enjoyed the section that we just had now. Just to guide us a bit, we understand that a whole lot of energy goes into trying to safeguard most of the loan document that we pick up from customers. Most times when there are issues that needs us calling up those documents, we know the bureaucracies involved within our systems. So part of what this solution is meant to handle is to help us or to enable us cut some of those bureaucracies and are still at the end of the day, ensure that, the relevant stakeholders that are supposed to give the necessary approvals for us to get the document are actually carried along and they do what they need for. So we know for every financial organization, financial service organization or every bank, their process is different. So we want to hear from you if you have questions. Okay, if there are scenarios you want us also to look at, and we want to ask us whether the system can we can actually tweak it to. We are just open for such questions also, because the idea for us also is to ensure that we reduce the time it takes us for us to get this document out. Actually, when we have time-bound situations we need to solve. So we need your questions. We are here for your questions. Someone takes loan from the bank and the person, was given the loan. It was a staff loan. The person leaves the organization or the person was asked to go. How do I now track to get this person and ensure this person pays when he gets a new job? Someone, you give out a loan and, it gets to a point where the person is defaulting. How do I, what do I do? How would the system help me? These are some of the areas also we are looking at and we factored in on this system. So your questions, so that at least we can, take some of them based on the scenarios you have in-house. Also know that you can also use the chat box if it's something you can. So you can also use the chat box.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Ebenezer. And well, I love the presentation. Thanks for the presentation. But there is one thing that I don't know yet, but I would like to make an inquiry about. Now, if I do understand the presentation very well, I believe this is all about document management, going from one level to another by approving, and some other things that come into place. So I want to know if we do have, or if there exists any form of integration that goes beyond the approval level that gives us the opportunity to verify the authenticity of a document that has been uploaded. Do you understand the question?
Sure.
Okay, so if there is anything of such, I don't know. You can
Okay.
just...
You have the
All
floor.
right, so thanks a lot for that question. Yeah, I think I get the question very well. All right, so quickly, when I was doing introduction, I did mention that there are rooms for integrations. Of course, these days, there are no systems that stand alone at all. No systems now stands alone at all. And part of the things that made us to use a click-through for this application, because the moving parts in CreditDoc are so many. It talks to different systems based on different organizations' way of handling things. It can talk to the core banking application, either writing or fetching from it via API, and it's open there. It can talk to any system that needed to complete the process that the document manager is actually handling. So the answer is yes. It's open to any system, and it can handshake on any system and run approvals to any system based on the workflow of each of these organizations. So the moving part are so many of them. And we looked at it as, okay, the best we can do, let's just do a click through of what this application should do or is doing currently at the moment, like I did mention, and also to see if we can get feedbacks from the team where else you think that is a requirement to plug into CreditDoc. So it can do that just the same way you answered. I don't know if that makes sense to you at all.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Okay.
And well, alongside that, I don't know if we also have this on the system, because I believe rather than just saving documents and then approving documents, if we have opportunity to credit informations of our users, like we should be able to analyze based on those credit information just to be sure if we have a good loan that we're trying to service or we have a bad one. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I get that. All right. So during the R&D, we looked at that very critically because that is the essence of these days now. So the AI analyzes it and find out if this person can be given a loan or not. So the system is of two parts. So basically, the system assumes that this has been done already and brings its documentations into the system just to find out these documents that are required, are they what is currently needed? But part of the model I know that is very important, just like you have seen now, you have just mentioned now, so much important to credit document is being able to analyze if this candidate qualifies to get a loan based on certain histories. It can talk to the credit bureau, find out if this person is has been defaulting in the time past, or if this person has taken a loan before and is not able to deliver, or if this person's credentials are worthy to grant a loan. So initially we thought that there are systems already doing this. So what we can do is the eDoc will just stand and connect to this system and get these verifications from this system and be able to manage the documentation. But eDoc also can work to extend its leg to do this type of verification if we have the needed information based on organizations, what they want. So I think is a valid thing you raised, and we considered it, but we took a step to keep eDoc to depend on the validations that has been done by the systems already existing, and also pick it up from there to manage the document end to end. But it's something that we can do with this system.
Okay. Thank
you. Yeah.
Okay.
But let me ask you a question, sir. So apart from organizations like Credit Bureau and that I know hold some records of people who are taking credit. Yes. So are there other systems that you think is important also to validate a particular intended candidate who want to take a credit, either within the system already or outside the system? You think that we can capture and make the system robust as well?
Okay. Is that question for me?
Well, I just open it up based on the question you asked now. I'm trying to see if I can get more insight on how to other systems that can manage validations. Our own is once we see it in the system, we can connect to it. So we pick a validated candidate already and manage the documents of this validated person, as it were. Yeah, but also we can extend the application by doing the validation leg of this particular process and also see how we can get it done very well.
Yeah, sure. Well, when it comes to the credit part of it, I think credit bureau is actually the most recognized at the moment, most especially in Nigeria. And some other things that we can be looking at verifying could be, of course, I believe we already factored in all those things like address verification, the basic things that are important, like the BVN, if necessary. Yes, it's very important. And some other critical documents that we need to hold them down if there exist any. So if we can do address verification and the BVN thing, and what other documents, I think that's the major thing. Because even if they are leaving, we still have something to hold on to.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you so much for your contribution. I sincerely appreciate that. All right. Onyema, over to you, please. Do we have other questions, other contributions, feedbacks?
I'm still waiting for other questions. We have quite a number of people here. And just also, if it's something like I mentioned before, if you can't ask the question yourself, you can just drop it on the chat box, and then I'll pick it up from there while we answer it. The idea is for us to ensure, we, look at various scenarios and be able to answer whatever, pain points, okay, you are looking at within your, credit management system, system. We are here to do that. You can actually, okay, go ahead.
Before I go, something just came, and I was like, what we've seen so far is just the backend processes, like having to create a user and then going down to the end of the process. So I don't know if there is any interface that exists for users to be opportune to upload those documents by themselves, if there exist any.
Okay, let me pick up that a little bit if I understand that. So now is it external users? I mean, intending credit users, or for internal? Yeah. Okay, so for now, what we have is for internal, but definitely if it's something we can open up that people can submit all the credentials that is being required at the point where they show interest that they want to take up a credit, then that also can happen to the system. So at the moment we consider handling the system internally, the back process of what happens to the credit from the time we pick it up to the system to the time all the approvals are being done and loans are being issued, and also being able to manage the end-to-end document of this particular facility in case it's being called up tomorrow. But now I hear you extend it again for external facing, where people can easily provide these informations, and the system will, once they submit it, it will trigger the same workflow. It will still go internally and get through all the whole to the end of the process as well. So it can be done.
Okay, because the reason why I asked the question was that I was wondering if we have many users, willing to request for a loan at a particular time, and we're limited based on the number of staffs in a company. and putting all that load on them to upload documents and doing all those processes, going through it from the first to the last, is really going to be a little bit stressful. But since you said for now we just want to test this, yeah, I think it's still fair. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I sincerely appreciate your contributions. It comes to mind. It's something that we'll think through and make it happen. One of the things that's going to happen is that that external facing will be integrated with an OCR technology that will be able to extract the data from the documents that's been sent and also run validations to some extent before we even bring it internally, where the officers will be interacting with the same application. So I think it's something we can do. One of my colleagues' hands is up. I think he has a comment to supportive comments to bring in. Stetson, over to you, please. Hi, Stetson.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stetson Omander. I'm the SharePoint Power Platform consultant here at Signal Alliance, and I just want to, add to what my colleague has said. So, yeah, for the front facing, yeah. So what we can do is, you can have those different fields that you want to be captured with a document as well that can be uploaded. And maybe, of course, you might have like your own database where you store it, like SQL or Microsoft Access, right? So the application or the platform we use to develop these applications have the ability to connect to all these different data sources. So let's say, for instance, you have that form on your website and people are submitting, and then it's dropping on your SQL DB. Let's imagine that you're using SQL as your database and it's dropping all this information in your DB. So we can spool that information, from your SQL database, for instance, or your Microsoft Access database or whatever, or Oracle DB, or Azure ACP, any DB that you're using, and spool all that information into the back end where the users can, that the internal users now can come in and manage those information by tracking or doing all those kind of related activities, instead of having to put in multiple inputs based on customers' requests, maybe via email or that like. So we can have that happen as well. So the platform is robust. It allows you to connect to different supported DBs, the popular ones we know. So I think that's a good route you can also go moving forward. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Stetson. Thank you, everyone. I will be sending out. The documents to everyone for us to look at it and get back to us on their if it's something they will be looking at. I think we'll also be dropping an email on the chat box. You can actually send an email to us so that we can follow through if you want us to engage you on a one-on-one basis. We'll be available anytime that you want us, to have that conversation with you. I know that there is no other questions here, and we will be, calling it a wrap. Nancy? Nancy, over to you, please.
All right, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much. Thanks for holding that part, the question and answer segment down. Thanks to everyone that has joined the session today. Kindly look through the chat area. We have left a survey form. Please share your feedback with us. We'd love to hear from you. Share feedback with us and let us know what you thought about today's session. And also let us know if you'd want us to reach out to you on a one-on-one and take the conversation further. Thank you all so much for your time on the call, and thanks to all the presenters for an amazing session. So at this juncture, I'd like to draw the curtain and say, do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, everyone.
All right, bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, bye.
Okay, bye. Have a lovely day.